Hello, this is Michael, atheist and alcoholic, attempting 90 meetings in 90 days with an open mind. And as much as I have disagreements with the philosophy of AA, many points of departure, I will never undermine the anonymity that is foundational to the program. Everything I talk about in these videos will be strictly my takeaways, what I got out of the meeting, and my share. Currently in the woods with my 2 German Shepherds. It's one of my happy places. I'm fortunate enough to have a couple. And tonight was meeting 4 out of 90. And I learned that it's sometimes hard, awkward at least, to share. Not that I don't want to. For all my faults, I've learned a lot about staying sober and about building a better life in the last 13 years. However, the topics tonight were about powerlessness, which is something that doesn't resonate with me, and also how unmanageable one's life can become in the throes of addiction, which does resonate. So everyone's sharing about how the program helped them and, keep coming back and how valuable AA has been to them, whereas I got sober through another program, through Smart Recovery. I do not know how open they are to people talking about other programs, maybe not during the meeting, but even afterwards. But I have a feeling I'm going to find out because that did happen tonight. It'll be interesting to see, because I know in Smart Recovery, if someone were to say, hey, they would tell the facilitator, I was sober for all this time with AA. I started, I ditched AA. I started coming to Smart meetings, and now I'm drinking again. The facilitator would be like, what the fuck are you doing here then? Go back to AA. Do whatever works for you. I don't know if AA would have that same open-mindedness and pragmatism to encourage people to do whatever works for them. But like I said, I have a feeling I'm going to find out, because if I see someone who looks like they're struggling and with some of the same stuff that I did in AA, with the religious overtones of the program, I can't help myself but mention that there are other secular options. So that's something my better half brought up to me the other day that I should have mentioned in another video. If anybody stumbles upon this video, an atheist or agnostic that has had success with AA, sharing what worked for you, maybe the mental gymnastics you performed to make it work, would be highly appreciated. So tonight, my share was largely about how systematic I had to be in my recovery. I first stopped drinking in 2011 and just white-knuckled 2 years. It was probably the worst 2 years of my life, and that's saying quite a lot. And I eventually relapsed, and when I was ready to get back on the path, I had to think about all the reasons that I was likely to use to rationalize another relapse. And initially I thought I'd just drink over anything, but it's like, it's not everything. So I narrowed it down to the 3 emotions that I was most averse to feeling were anger, overwhelm, and sadness. So I decided to tackle those one at a time. I worked with anger first. A lot of meditation, journaling, therapy, retreats even, a Buddhist retreat, stoicism, and eventually I got way better at dealing with the anger. That's something I'll go into more detail in another video, if warranted. And made it another 18 months to 2 years, and I eventually overwhelmed myself into another relapse. I would take on more work than I should. Just saying yes to things that I knew I had no business saying yes to, that I didn't have the time for. And I felt there was no off switch in me, but I knew there was certainly an off switch at the bottom of every bottle, so long as the bottle was big enough. So I overwhelmed myself into another relapse, got back on the path, and made it 3 years before one of our German Shepherds, not one of the 2 that are with me right now, obviously, but our first female passed away unexpectedly. And I took her to be cremated, and immediately went to CVS for a half gallon of booze. So sadness was still an issue. And over time, I suppose I've gotten better at feeling sadness. We had some pretty tragic things happen in our family in the past couple months, and I haven't drank about it. I still have not had a drink in 2 years, so either I've gotten better at dealing with sadness, or being hospitalized for withdrawal for the first time was bad enough that any thoughts of drinking again just can't gain traction, or some combination of those two things. But I'm still sober. So that was my share. I hope it was helpful for somebody at the meeting, or maybe somebody watching this video, and I will see you guys again here tomorrow.